Hey, how we doing? Today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. It's early evening right now when I'm recording this. So the day is in the books, and I just want to take a look at a few different rate here comparisons. I just want to show you some things. Housing Wire, this is across the country, 30-year fixed. They say this is, well, other mortgage rates show rates being quoted to borrowers with top credit profiles. This shows actual locked rates with borrowers of all credit profiles. So this can vary, and this can be such a mix of different circumstances right here. But national average based on locked data. Now let's slide over to mortgagenewsdaily.com. Their data says we've got a 30-year fixed. The average around the country is 6.67%. How do they arrive at that? Let's check that out real quick. Learn about our rate survey. So it's a top tier scenario, 75% LTV, 780 FICO score. Okay, that tells you something. 25% down or 25% equity position and great credit. And then to account for points, 6.125% with points, their index might read it as 6.25% to basically make the points negligible, make it a 0 points loan, a par loan, hypothetically. APR is not factored in. It's real-time changes in lender rate sheets. So this, if you've been shopping or something like that, or you're not in process, you're going to have to hustle to get locked in the same day because you basically got to have all of your documents in. You got to be vetted. But companies like ours were built for speed this way, so we can accommodate something like that. They're pointing at, I'm just looking at 30-year fix here, just for this illustration, 6.67%. Okay. Moving on. So I'm kind of taking that information, I'm plugging it into a couple of different places. Top tier scenario, I have taken 25% down on a purchase, and I am not considering first-time home buyers. First-time home buyers actually get a discount even versus somebody, a first-time home buyer with a credit score of like 680 might get a better rate than a non-first-time home buyer, even if they have like a credit score of 800. It's kind of what's happened in the marketplace to drive affordability to give first-time home buyers a better chance anyway. But it's always evolving. There's all kinds of things happening at all times. Purchase price, $700,000. 175 is actually 25% down. You can just see what the 30-year fixed looks like. While we wait for this, I have some others here. I'm going to pull up Wells Fargo. I ran this already. So I believe this is a non-first-time homebuyer, 740 FICO score, single family, San Diego, 25% down, 525 loan amounts. The rate is 6.375%, and it has one discount point. So in addition to the standard closing costs that you will pay on a purchase, you'll pay the underwriting fee, you'll pay for the appraisal, you'll pay the title and escrow fees, which you actually do not know on a purchase until you get into contract because the sellers pick those things. And then if you want impounds, you have to build those in. And then there's recording fees and such. But this is strictly right here. This is strictly for the rate itself. It costs $5,250 for that rate. And then, so that'll be piled into the closing costs as well on top of that 6.375%. Let's hop back over, and that's at a 740 FICO score. So rates better than what we see over on Mortgage News Daily. But Mortgage News Daily, this computes to basically a no points rate, okay? And over here, this data is actual locks around the country, driven by Pauly and posted on Housing Wire. I follow Logan here on multiple platforms. He's keeping people in the loop every single day. All right, let's go back to Bank of America now. Now it's populated, so 6.5% at Bank of America on the same exact scenario. Yeah, this is a credit score of 740 or higher, so it's similar to Wells Fargo. 6.5%, they got 0.634 points. So it costs $3,328 in order to get that particular rate today from Bank of America for that setup. All right, moving right along, cruising over here to guaranteed rates. I'm just looking for people who will show us rates, basically. 30-year fix, 700,000 purchase price, and I've been using a San Diego zip code. So same exact scenario, 740 FICO score. Over here, it costs 3,749 or 3,769 for that particular rate on a 30-year fixed. I tried to price this out at Cross Country Mortgage because they're the biggest retail lender, or one of the biggest retail lenders in the country, and they don't let you see the rates. Guess what? It's because their rates are higher. They're a retail lender, so they have a lot of expenses. So there's a big margin baked into your loan, and so your rate is higher. So let's skip them. And then over here at Rocket Retail, same deal. Like, I'm a broker. Loan Factory is the second biggest brokerage in the country. We're also a direct lender. When we broker with these different partners, we can actually deliver much, much better rates than their retail division. Again, because I don't have the overhead. I'm an independent. They don't have to pay me a salary. They don't have to provide me with leads. They don't have to do those things. So I don't even know what's going on here with this. Same deal. The retail divisions, you call these lenders directly, you're not going to get the lowest rate. 100% guaranteed. If you come over to my website, I price this out also. I'm at greatrates.io. Let's have a look here. And you can price out any of these scenarios that you want on my website. I'm not blocking this at all. I have the same exact terms plugged in here. First time home buyer, yes or no? How many properties do you have? And then here's another, this is your gross income for you and your spouse or yourself. And sometimes you can get discounts for this. Like, if you make this amount of money in San Diego, you might be eligible for a home ready, home possible if you're in this bucket, and you can qualify for the loan. This has additional rate discounts. It's the same. It's a 30-year fixed. There might be one extra step in underwriting. It's kind of got the designs to help people get into homes. But let's just look at this as if we're comparing apples to apples with the Bank of America, everybody else who would show their rates. So right here at 6.375%, my points are $1,580. Wells Fargo, $4,000 better. Bank of America at this marker, $3,328 at 6.5%. At 6.5%, I'm actually giving a lender credit towards your closing costs of $551. And guaranteed rate, these guys were the closest. 6.375, 3769. So I still have them be by $2,200 for the same exact rate. That's just a little illustration. You can come into my website. You can price this out. I'm not licensed in every state. I'm in California, Colorado, Washington, Florida, Minnesota, South Dakota, North Dakota. So the pricing will be accurate in those states. In this market, look at all these rates. All these rates are bad anyways. And in terms of what people have grown accustomed to. Now, the last couple of years, they seem like they're getting better, so people are more attracted to it. If you can qualify and you can safely qualify and you can handle a payment, like, why would you pay $6,000 to get 6.125%? $3,190 per month, when you could instead even pay 0.5% higher for now. The monthly payment, $3,362. It's $172 more per month, okay? But the difference in closing costs is over $8,700. $8,700 less you have to bring to close at this marker. We don't know what the market's going to do, obviously, but we are sort of on that trend. People believe that the rates are going down. So when we strategize this, it depends on how much cash you have too and how we structure it. There's a smart way to do it. You can get in. You can be in this loan for 9 months. And then if you have an opportunity to move up in 9 months, and let's say in 9 months, 6.125 actually has a credit like this, you can actually take this credit and apply it towards any refinance loan costs. And then refinance loan costs are actually much cheaper than on a purchase, especially with Loan Factory. You're going to be getting, look up my reviews. I helped build a mortgage company since 2016. So I've seen thousands upon thousands of scenarios, but I do work hand in hand with people. It's if we're in sync together, it'll likely be like one of the best processes that you've had, and that's my goal every time. Okay, so let's say you want to do a rate alert, you want to track this exact scenario or whatever else. If you want to plug in a refinance, if you want to plug in a cash out refinance, let's say your house is worth $800,000 and you've got a current loan amount of 200,000, and that rate is at like 5, but you need some money to improve your house or whatever you want to do with it. Maybe you want to set a new loan amount of 450,000 and we've got refinance cash out. And this is where you should contact me as well. I mean, you can price this stuff all day long, but I know the sharp spots and I can help you. And maybe I even have investors in my bucket that aren't necessarily in my engine where I can get you better pricing. I know for sure on purchases I do, but you have to be a buttoned up borrower. You have to have it together. Otherwise, I can't do it because it won't work with that particular investor. But let's check this out, and we can do more options. We're going to say we got a really high FICO score, single family home. We got condos. Their pricing hits for certain condos. You got to be careful. Conventional loan. We've got VA, FHA. Also, let's just take a look at conventional cash out, 450 against 800. And when we're looking at this on a cash out or on a refinance, on the purchase view, what you see in terms of cost is simply the actual cost for the rate, the cost of the credit for the rate. On the refinance view, this actually factors in everything. It factors in more than the actual loan costs. It factors in about $3,300 in loan costs. If I don't have to do an appraisal in the state of California, I can do a refinance for your loan fees like $2,500. No companies can really do that. And that's just because of our size and our partnerships. But this is basically saying that it is a credit of $3,543. So this is actually a free loan. Loan costs are covered, and then the spillover will cover any prepaid interest. And watch my other video about setting loan amounts on refinances. These are free cash out refinances where all the loan costs are covered and there's no points, all costs are covered. This is like a net of only $892 cumulatively, but that's against $3,300 in loan costs. Again, if my loan costs are only $2,500, really it's only like a net $100 in loan costs. The only other costs on this would be the prepaid interest on a refinance. Again, watch my other video. I go into more detail on that, and I talk to clients about that. And then if you want impounds, if you want a new impound account, those show up as costs, but it's really just you paying for your own taxes and insurance, pre-funding those things. And then when you pay off your existing mortgage, if you have an impound account over there, you'll get that money back from the existing lender within about 30 days. Sometimes if you're staying with the same lender, you can net those out. So that's an example of the cash out. And if you want to track this, or let's say you bought rate and term 80%, let's say you got in at 7.125%, we can move you down 3/8 and pay for all of your closing costs plus a spillover of $800 to $1,600, which will apply towards your prepaid interest or your impounds, and keep that loan balance as low as we can on the refi. We're talking about moving your rate down, and then like if it's lower, so let's pretend this is 580 or 72.5%. Free loan at 6.625 plus change. So this is actually all the loan costs are covered, plus you're getting an extra $1,100. This spillover cannot go towards your principal. It can only go towards impounds and prepaid interest. But I encourage you to create rate alerts, track this stuff, because my system will send it to you. You can set it when the target hits. You can set it weekly. Dailies, if you're pretty serious or you want to track it in real time, it'll disable after a little while and you can always reset it, or I can reset it for you. Weekly is probably better if you're just slightly interested to see how it looks, but you can go like 6.25. It currently costs $6,100. I'm willing, let's go 6.375. It costs this. I'm willing to play ball when the target closing costs, when it's basically a free loan on a refinance, no closing costs. So I'm $3,596 away. And then you could enter your information and set up your rate alert, and it'll come to your email once every Monday at 10 a.m. So check this out. I don't have any blockers on here. I'm not making you enter your information. I use it as a disruptive force. But really, if you have the opportunity to work with me, hell yeah, let's do it. Have a good day. We'll catch you later. Bye bye.